Armed with new knowledge, the Lightbringers make their way out of Reclamation's Pride and towards the mountainous city of Arvyx. But they have a new friend waiting for them.
Hey, welcome to Worlds Apart, a show where my friends and I play D&D together. Usually we have my brother Cedric on the show, but he's going to have to take a little break from recording. That's okay, we hope to have him back soon. But in the meantime, we have our very good friend Xandra here with us as a guest star. Super happy to have you. We're all happy to have you here. So, let's get right into it. Previously on Worlds Apart, Astrid, Mara, and Zephyr traveled to the independent city-state of Reclamation's Pride in search of magical aid from the tiefling seer known as Premonition. Before they could meet with her, however, Astrid was ambushed by her devilish father, Sedge, in the guise of a humble beggar. Together,
Sedge, humble?
Together, the Lightbringers drove Sedge from the city and were granted an audience with Reclamation, the sorceress who founded the city. In turn, Reclamation granted them access to Premonition, and the mystic cast the three of you into a deep dream state where you met with and spoke with your companions who were trapped in Tenebrae. Together you spoke and traded items and agreed to meet each other in the city of Arvyx and in its relative location in Tenebrae, the Ruby Eyrie. From there, you went around Reclamation's Pride for the rest of the day, doing a little bit of light shopping, and at the end of it, you were called back to the tavern you were all staying in by your friend, Basil Theodore, who had some really rather important news for you. And you're gathered before Basil right now, and he says to you, so I've just met with someone who had come into town in search of some potions and other related remedies and such, and well, frankly, they practically bought out my stock. So I think I need to go back onto the road and continue foraging and restore my my stock of potions and poultices. You know, I was thinking before all of this happened that I would want to accompany you to Arvyx. I know you're headed in that direction, and I've been putting it off for some time. I thought it would be a good chance, but I don't think I'm ready. But I learned that this person, they're from Arvyx too, or at least nearby. They're one of the Wildfeather halflings. I don't know how much you know about the region.
What do I know about the Wildfeather halflings?
That's a very good question. Roll me an intelligence history check, please.
19.
Okay.
10.
Okay. Astrid, you have a sort of cursory knowledge that two sort of ethnic groups live in the Arvyx region, those mountains. There's the Dragonborn, who are descended from the dragons themselves, and there are the Wildfeather halflings who have lived there for untold generations. Mara, you know that the Wildfeather halflings are much like your own people, a clan-based people who have who are part of the Republic, unlike you, but they rarely interact with Auredane on a larger scale. One of the consuls of Arvyx must always be one of their clan, but beyond their political representatives, mostly they keep to themselves. And at this, Basil, who I should introduce him to you. He is a very pale-skinned, somewhat effete man in his mid-20s with shock white curly hair and a scar on one side of his face that constantly blooms morning glories from a magical wound he received. And you have been trading with him, haggling with him, dealing with him for the past couple of hours. And
just buying all of his shit.
It's like, would you like this? Yes. Would you like this? Yes.
That feeling in a video game where you're like clicking through the entire inventory.
This shopkeeper does not have enough gold.
And he gestures over to you that you've been doing your business in the same bottom floor of the inn together. And he gestures towards you and brings you over towards the table and says, I know we've only just met each other, really, but you said to me you were heading back to Arvyx soon. Is that right?
Hereabouts.
Okay. I met these two people. They basically saved my life. I was pinned down in a ruin, an old Kievan ruin, and giants were sort of standing guard outside the structure. If they hadn't come by and slain the giants and tamed their giant panther friend, I surely would have starved to death in that old temple.
Well, that's rather admirable. I appreciate that you've done this for our friend Basil here.
Basil.
Yeah.
Would you tell us what your character's name is and what they look like?
Yes, my character's name is Valoran, and you look over and you see this stout, 4-foot little halfling, no hair. They
Shaved or bald?
Shaved, yeah. They do a lot of medical outreach, I guess, and so they keep their head shaved.
Clerics without borders.
Druids without borders.
Yeah. True. They keep their head shaved just to prevent, the spread of lice and stuff.
It's a practicality thing.
Yeah. And you see that they have this intricate wooden brace around their torso that is supporting them. And they've got vines sort of wrapped around their fingers and some of their other joints as well, in a supportive fashion as well. They have called the plants into these shapes specifically to help their joints stay in place because they are very hypermobile.
Right on.
How old do they look in relative terms?
Halflings age about the same as humans and ducklings.
They are 45.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're a little bit older.
Got some life experience under the belt.
Yeah.
Cool.
Astrid's going to feel very immature.
Mara bends down a little bit and says, "It's a pleasure. Mara."
Nice to meet you. I'm Valoran. You can call me Willow.
Willow, you have a strong grip.
Hi, pleased to meet you. I'm Astrid Sunglow.
Oh, you're so cute.
Isn't she?
Hey, welcome to the team, Willow. Here is an inspiration token. You can cash that in whenever you want to re-roll a d20 roll.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Or gain advantage if that floats your boat. Okay. So Basil says, anyway, I hate to leave your little fellowship, and it's been great bartering with you. He laughs. But really, I should get going as soon as possible. If I've got nothing to sell, I really have a little business being here in Reclamation's Pride.
Maybe we'll catch up with you on the road.
I'd love that.
Be careful.
Yep. You know my route. It's basically between here, Omavel, and some of the far outlying Broadfurrow villages. Oh, I should say this. I'm sure you've seen it from air, but I would take great caution while traveling north to Arvyx. Even if you take the long way around, that will take you pretty close to Broadfurrow. You should be safe, given the way you travel, but these landbound folk, the hobgoblins that are occupying that city, that have occupied it basically since the war began, they have total command over the region. If they spot you and they have sharp lookouts, you'd better be prepared to fight.
They better be
Always.
prepared to fight.
That's what I was hoping for. Okay. Safe travels, all of you. And he
You
looks
too,
over at
Basil.
Zephyr as well and bows his head, and Zephyr bows back. And he packs up his bag and...
I'll see you
heads on out.
around, Basil.
See you, Willow. All right. So, what are you three up to before leaving Reclamation's Pride? Zephyr seems a bit quiet right now. They seem to be in a state of contemplation. And they say, if you have anything left to do in town, go ahead and do it without me. I'll be back here when you're ready.
Okay.
We'll see you when we get back then.
He inclines his head.
Astrid turns to Willow, who probably comes up to about here.
Yeah, 4 feet. How tall is Astrid?
Astrid's 5'6". She's a little bit taller than me,
Okay.
Not the...
but not like that large.
Oh, she's 3'8".
Okay.
Or they're 3'8".
Cool.
Okay, so a little bit smaller.
Shorter than 4 feet.
Astrid has been around taller people enough to know that it feels real bad when people like squat to talk to you. So just kind of like standing straight up, but looking Willow in the eyes. Astrid says,
So, you're a healer of some kind?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I wander these forests and I help travelers who have injured themselves. And whenever I hear about a city that has any sort of major outbreaks of illnesses happening, I will travel there and offer my services. It's kind of my calling, just to wander and heal.
That's so wonderful. And are you a druid?
I am. Yes.
Oh, my son is a druid, my oldest.
Oh, wonderful. What's his name?
His name's Haroon.
Aw, sweet. Do you have any portraits of him?
No, we don't really have any painting. We do tapestries in our tribe,
Oh.
but he's tall like me and sandy hair, very handsome, I think. But
You must be so.
I am. He's leading the tribe while I'm away.
Oh, wonderful.
Wait, sandy is in like light colored or it's actually full of sand?
Well, both sometimes.
I imagine that'd be the case in a desert. So you mentioned that you're heading out towards Arvyx. What are you doing out there?
We're actually headed up to the Nortalk Steppe, but passing through Arvyx to prepare and gain some cold weather gear on our way there. We've been tasked with that by, what's his name? By the high priest of I can't talk today. We've been tasked with that by the high priest of Astera. So they want our assistance.
Wow, I feel honored to be in the presence of such important people here.
Zephyr looks askance. Actually, I think they've kind of stayed with you. You haven't gone far. have you?
We're hanging out in the tavern.
Zephyr looks askance and says it's actually... It's quite a high calling. Zephyr's looking a little bit uncomfortable. He looks a little bit stressed out.
Are you feeling okay?
And they look at their feet and say, I guess the pressure's getting to me a little bit. I don't know. I used to think that this would be such a incredible opportunity to sort of make my mark, figure out who I am, but I feel a little trapped, actually.
Maybe it'll be better once we're out of the city and back in the wilderness.
Yeah, I hope so. Closer to Kieva and everything.
We'll finish up our business here, and if that's all right with you, Willow, we'd like to be on the road tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. I've already finished all of the things that I need to do, so... Can I offer you a cup of tea?
You know, I would love a cup of tea.
And Lauren pulls out of her pack an alchemy jug that is always full of herbal tea.
Oh,
Love
and
it.
pours a small cup of tea and passes it to Zephyr.
Zephyr takes it and takes a little sip, no matter how hot it is, and just enjoys it, closes their eyes and nods and looks at you and says, "It's fantastic."
I'm gonna
Thank you,
roll a smell-based perception check. It's a 17. Astrid kind of.
That smells just like the tea my mother makes.
Does your mother enjoy herbal teas?
She's an herbalist.
Oh, fantastic! Would you like a cup of tea as well?
Please.
Would you like one too?
oh yes, thank you.
Teas all around.
It's very different than Valashi tea, but I like it.
You engage in some tea and you relax a little bit. It is, I would say, it's getting about 3 hours after midday at this point. So it sounds to me like, Mara, you might have a little bit of stuff left to do before you leave town.
Yeah, so Mara realized that, well, in fact, my son is to be married soon. His partner is from the Storm Chaser tribe, and I'm hoping that I'll make it back in time for their wedding, but I should bring some gifts. And I know Desney and Sully would appreciate things as well from Reclamation's Pride or Arvyx, so I wanted to, if we have a couple hours, take some time to look for things for them.
Congrats on the engagement. That's so exciting.
Thank you. I'm very proud of him, of course. I already mentioned that.
Someday the campaign will bend that way.
Big gay desert wedding.
So you head out back to the shops. Astrid, have you packed up your cold resistant armor in your luggage, or are you kind of
yes.
keeping it with you? Okay.
Because we're not gonna need it until we get to Arvyx, pretty much.
It's too warm down here in the
yeah.
savannah for it.
Plus my AC is higher with mage armor. I do want to get, not necessarily barding, because his AC is fine, but a riding harness for ink.
Yes.
I wrote down breastplate of cold resistance, actually.
I think you bought a breastplate.
Did I? I thought that was for you.
Actually, I think I recall you doing that.
I just don't remember anything, I guess.
We'll go back through the records
okay,
and we'll play back the tape.
We'll find out. Oh, yeah.
All right. So, you go to some shops. You go mostly to market stalls, actually, not brick and mortar shops, like the folk life farmers markets sort of shopping. And you find a couple of vendors purveying. You're basically looking for little trinkets,
Yeah, or if there's a particularly well-made bow for Sully or a particularly nice sword or dagger for Desney.
Yeah,
then
so
they would appreciate those things.
I think bows are quite rare in the desert. You need really supple wood to make a good bow. I would say that when you say good, you're looking for high quality craftsmanship, or you're looking for magic item good?
I mean, if they have something that's a good deal, but I don't want to spend our party money on that. So I would feel bad about that. So something that's high quality craftsmanship.
Okay, there is a really well crafted yew longbow that's on the market for 70 gold. And it is, so in 3rd edition D&D, there was a trait called Masterwork that gave you a +1 to hit, but not the +1 to damage that a magic weapon would give. I like to reverse it in 5th edition because 2-hit bonuses are crazy pants good and damage is less powerful. This is a Masterwork yew longbow, which means it gains a +1 to damage rolls when it deals damage.
Okay.
There are also a couple of neat trinkets. You look around, you find a glass orb about the size, a little larger than a baseball, that is perfectly transparent, except when you shake it, it fills with swirling blue smoke. There is a tiny silver icon of an eagle, a little amulet in the shape of an eagle, probably traded by one of your kind. And there is a beautiful mahogany lacquered pipe, or lacquered mahogany pipe rather, that does not take tobacco, but instead blows bubbles.
How much is that?
That is 1 gold.
If none of your kids would like it, Astrid wants it.
Okay. How much is the amulet?
The amulet, it seems non-magical, but it's fine craftsmanship. It would be 10 gold.
Is it from? It's probably from a different place than the bow. So yeah.
You actually looking at it, the fine details are remarkable. You can see individual feathers on this.
Mara wants to get that for Sully as well because Sully raised a baby eagle when she was a child.
Nice.
And the eagle still visits her sometimes.
Oh.
Well, I have enough personal gold for those both, so I'll just go ahead and get those both.
Cool. I wish I could give you inspiration for being a good mom.
Would I know anything about, would I be able to tell who had made the amulet from looking at it, if it's from my clan?
It's actually carved or signed on the back, and it has the initials EW.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me a wisdom check.
I am good at those. Okay, that is a 16.
You get the sense that there's a couple of people this might be, but the only craftsperson that you know with those initials is a fairly young woman, halfling woman named Elenise Wisteria.
Ooh. Then I get excited about knowing the initials and explain the history of the amulet and the craft person to Mara.
Yeah, I love when coincidences like that happen. Like in real life too. It's like I know the person. I can't believe it. Yeah.
And Mara explains, Sully is going to love this.
So this bubble pipe.
Yes.
Like, do you blow through it and it blows bubbles, or do you pull from it and exhale bubbles? Because I like the latter a lot better.
Like into your mouth and
then
blow
you
out.
exhale bubbles.
Ooh, good question. Make me an Arcana check.
16.
16.
Okay, I thought there was a nat one. There was 11.
So here's the deal. It is built so that you blow into it and you exhale bubbles, but you have examined it and determined that the thing that does it is not a mechanism but a minor enchantment, and you could basically flip the polarity on the enchantment to be able to blow bubbles out of your mouth or nose.
Astrid's just gonna puff on this bubble pipe and blow bubbles at people.
It can blow bubbles for a total of 1 hour per day. And it refreshes with the rising of the moon. All right. Yes, and you wanted to look for some kind of tack and harness for ink.
Yes.
You spend some time looking, and you find to your dismay that no one really makes giant panther barding or even really saddles. There is someone who makes... There is someone who repairs giant eagle saddles for your people. That person thinks that he might be able to modify one if you give him the rest of the day and 100 gold.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Do we have 100 gold to spare?
Yeah.
And that'll definitely make riding on ink a whole lot more comfortable.
And safer.
Safer, you'll have advantage on checks to avoid being knocked off. And you can put saddlebags on it too. Yeah.
I think at the end of the last session, Ink went to hunt.
Yeah. He rushed off.
Astrid's gonna click her boots and hop onto the nearest roof and cast Thaumaturgy to amplify her voice and call for Ink.
People around you go huh?
Here, kitty!
All the cats come running.
Yeah, so like 20 minutes pass, and first of all, you see like 3 alley cats like start wandering around the alley that you're near. And then after 20 minutes, you can see a little dust cloud being kicked up in the savannah and traveling towards the town. And you can see Ink just bump, 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 full tilt running up around the hill the city is built on, and eventually skidding to a halt in the alley 5 feet beneath you. And he looks up, gets on his hind legs, and puts his paws on top of the building you're on top of and says, "Yeah?"
We need your measurements. Come with me. And she like climbs down Ink onto the ground.
Ink expresses utter confusion of what you're talking about, but is compliant enough to go along with you.
Big dumb baby.
You get the measurements, and I have no idea what the measurements offhand for a giant panther
Doesn't
would
actually
be.
matter. I just wanted to just shout for my cat.
Yes, you see a giant eagle harness, and I don't know what the word for this type of person is. A saddle maker.
Leather? Like a leather worker?
I guess a leather worker, yeah. Yeah, you can look it up. I'm on it.
I know there's a
There's got to
word.
be a word for this. So this person gets measurements, puts the unfitted saddle on Ink, basically like takes it apart, adds some connective tissue, straps it on, and you're there for about, I said it was about 3 p.m., so you're there for about 4 hours. Astrid looks at some magazines.
Entertains Ink with the bubbles.
Yeah. Did you find out? Is it there?
You're never gonna guess what it is. It's called a saddler.
Well,
Or they're called a saddler.
I'm sad.
I'm sorry to
are
saddle
you
you with
sad?
God damn it!
Are you just sad, or are you sadler than you were before?
And the Tarask drops from the sky.
this. It flattens the entire city.
Okay.
Anyway.
So Ink is all saddled up. The first thing he does is like walk backwards to try and get out of it. But you eventually are able to calm him down. He's like, "Fine. The giants didn't need this."
Did they ride you?
Okay, that's fair. And you are all set in Reclamation's Pride. The decorations for the Lovers' Day celebration are kind of being taken down at night, all the multicolored pennants and flags. You can see tieflings with all sorts of horn shapes walking around finishing their business. And you're hanging out in the bottom floor of the tavern again. Excuse me.
Astrid ties a discarded pennant around Ink's neck.
Oh, cute. What
Writes
color
his
is
name
it?
on it. Orange.
Nice.
To stand out against his fur.
Very good. A Halloween cat.
Spoopy.
So, are a lot of you going to spend another night in town, or are you going to head out and travel under cover of night?
I think we should travel during the day.
Okay.
Okay.
Unless you want to head out right now.
I'm not exactly anxious to go.
Would
But
I?
I'm not tired. So
Would
if
I
we
know
want to-
anything about whether these woods are safer to travel at night or during the day?
That's a good question. Roll me an intelligence history check.
nature?
I think it would be history, actually.
That is a 16.
Okay. So as far as the savannah is concerned, most of the animals out there, the dangerous hunting animals like lions and such, do hunt at night. I hope that's true. So as far as wild animals are concerned, night is more dangerous. As far as monsters are concerned, though, hobgoblins tend to be more active in the early morning and twilight. They tend to avoid high noon, but the rest of the day, when the sun is at an angle, they are quite active, or when there's cloud cover.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I recommend that we stay here another night and leave sort of mid-morning.
One more breakfast in town.
Yeah,
and
just a nice, easy, slow breakfast so that we miss the early morning.
the commute traffic.
People are going home from festivals, so, you know.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
Fantasy rush hour.
But we'll also avoid monsters a little bit better that way.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Let me say all that again. It makes total sense for hobgoblins to travel at night. Yes. So in terms of both hunting and monster activity, lions like to hunt at night, pack animals hunt at night. Hobgoblins tend to be active in the deepest part of the night and a little bit in the early morning and a little bit at twilight.
Okay. So,
Okay.
mid-morning, have a little brunch.
Cool. And I think Mara is just gonna, like, pick Willow's brain on the plants around here. And, like, Mara doesn't understand anything about this, but she's just trying to get information for Haroon because she knows that he'll be curious about it.
Lauren has a small book in their pouch, and opens it up, and there are pressed plants with all of their descriptions. It is basically a materia medica. And they explain to Mara, this is a book that I've created over the years as I've learned about new plants. At this point, I've mostly got it all memorized, and I can easily make another one. I would love for you to have this and take this as a wedding present for your son.
Willow, we've only just met. That's so kind of you. How can I refuse?
I love
tear
seeing
rolls down
you
Astrid's
through
cheek.
it.
Yeah.
I hope someday you have the chance to meet Haroon. I'm sure the two of you would get along.
That would be
Thank
Zephyr
you.
looks over at this exchange and says, "That book is just like my friend Aceranon's.
Oh, wow.
She's somewhere else right now, but when she and I were traveling together, we kept a book of pressed leaves and plants just like it.
How wonderful.
It's a little bit bizarre seeing that. Mara, you should absolutely give that as a wedding present. That's a lot of effort and dedication it takes to create something like it.
I am sure that Aceranon is looking at the book and thinking of you.
Speaking of which, I know we have a lot left to do together. I know there's a journey that we need to embark upon together. But I think I need to go my own way for now. I don't really know what to say or how to say it, but I've been meditating while all of you sleep in my trance, and I've been seeing things. I've been reaching out and sensing old memories from before I was born, from the life before my own, and from the life that Aceranon and I had together as travelers. And I think I need to go to Black Vault. I know that's in the opposite direction, and I know that we can't just abandon our duty, but I need to go back to Black Vault.
But the Godsworn.
I know. And that's why it's so hard to go the other way.
Astrid just kind of stares at her boots for a little while. I know it's hard to be separated from Aceranon. We'll find her. And then we'll find you, okay?
Thanks. I know you will.
And Astrid, flings herself. Wraps her arms around Zephyr's neck.
Yeah, and Zephyr holds her and tosses her hair a little bit and sets her down
It's
and
like
says,
holding a couple of grapes.
and they say to you, "You'll find her, huh? Not if I find her first." And gives you an impish grin.
And Tamara gives him a big hug, lifts him off the ground a little bit.
Armor and all.
Yeah. Plate armor and all.
Yeah.
Just. You know I trust your instincts, both of you. If this is what you think you need to do, but be careful.
I will. There's I'm not sure I can tell you where I'm going or what I'm doing. I'm not sure I rightly know myself, but I think the visions I'm having in my trance are trying to lead me somewhere. And he mumbles this practically to himself, but as long as it doesn't lead me back east, I think I'm ready to go anywhere.
Be safe.
Astrid stands on her toes and gives Zephyr a kiss on the forehead and casts benediction.
Aww. Zephyr touches her chest and says, "Oh, and hey, it was great to meet you.
You as well.
I'm sure I'll see you again sometime."
Hopefully less unfortunate circumstances.
I think so. And Zephyr looks at you and slings her pack over their back and says, "We'll see each other again, I promise."
Good. May Kieva go with you.
Thank you. And may she with you. And Zephyr heads on out. And seeing Zeph leave the threshold, you wonder if you will ever see that elf again. You think you will.
It hurts, but I can feel it. They're making the right decision.
Well, I am glad we have your help. You seem capable if you travel between Arvyx and here often on your own, I'm sure.
Yes, I've been doing this for years.
Well, we have something in common.
Okay, so Astrid, Mara, and Willorin head out with the new day. So Willorin, you have something of an animal companion yourself.
Yes, as we are reaching the border of the town, you see a giant eagle come swooping down, and as they do, you notice that this eagle is almost entirely white. And upon landing, Willorin affixes their giant eagle armor to the giant eagle.
Nice.
And introduces you. This is my companion. This is Birch Top.
Birch Top, it's an honor. I had heard that the wild feather halflings rode giant eagles, but I've never seen one before.
How tall is a giant eagle?
Okay, so I misspoke earlier saying that it was a huge creature. It's just a large creature.
It's only a large creature.
It's still a full size bigger than any of us.
What is Ink's reaction to this large bird?
And what is Birch's reaction to this large cat?
Astrid has got a death grip on Ink's collar. This bird is our friend.
Bird.
Tail twitch.
Hunting chitter.
Astrid boops him on the nose. Leave this bird alone.
Ink gives you that cat side eye, like, until you stare him down and he looks at the ground. Okay.
Good boy.
She kisses him on the head.
Ears twitch.
And Astrid turns and greets Birch.
Birch was just kind of staring stoically during this all, knowing that if this cat decided to attack, Birch could easily just go straight up and get out of the way.
Bye.
Mara, your people have something of a reverence for animal spirits. Does this eagle spark any emotional reaction within you?
I'm just, I guess, impressed with this pure white eagle. And again, impressed with Willow, that they have this companion. Mara herself and, doesn't have an eagle spirit that she draws upon. She draws upon the wolf spirit, but she has known other people who do draw upon the spirit of eagles, and she's never seen an eagle this big.
Well.
Astrid, who has beast speech, by the way.
Oh,
Beach
yeah.
speech. That too.
Birch speech.
Looks to Birch and says, if you ever drop a feather, or when you molt next, I would be honored if you would grant me one of your feathers. I think it would be very useful for one of my mother's charms.
Would you like me to speak for Birch, or would you like to speak for Birch?
I think I would like to speak for Birch.
Cool. Yes, go for it.
Perhaps when we finish our journey together, I will have gotten to know you better and know if this is a gift you are deserving of.
And Astrid bows deeply. I understand.
Okay.
She's shocked that this is a very smart and eloquent bird.
It's got a wisdom of +7.
Damn! Smart Burb.
Yeah.
That Burb is wiser than all of us.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have a giant cat who's a giant dumbass.
So, by nature, a giant eagle can, what should I say? Can understand Common and Orin, the language of air elementals, but normally they cannot speak it. Only because of your beast speech can you two communicate.
But that means they can understand Mara.
Yeah, the bird can understand you, and you can give commands. I mean, you could probably just like give a twitch of the reins, and they would understand it. But.
Yeah, we're pretty
Attuned?
Yeah, pretty attuned to each other at this point. But we do speak to each other in Sylvan.
Okay.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So, yeah. So you head on out. You.
Is Willow going to fly above us, or
This land is not yet wooded, correct?
Yeah. So you're currently on a hill, and you're going to be traveling across a broad savanna that is colloquially called the Sea of Golden Grass. So its trees are sparse. It's got kind of, well, for you, practically neck-high grass, waist-high for these fine folk. There are copses of trees. You would see like little groves of mangroves or baobabs that, maybe take up an acre, but mostly it is wide open, very humid, very unwooded land for the most part.
Okay. In which case we will be flying.
Okay.
But we'll try to stay within earshot, and I know that you are able to project your voice quite loudly. So if you need me, you can do that, I guess.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for any hobgoblins headed our way then.
Yes, I will keep a lookout.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have Astrid's horse Raphael on a lead as well.
Okay, cool. So you, Willow, you know that the journey from here to Arvyx, as the bird flies, is about a week. However, the journey on foot is a little bit longer, maybe about a week and a half, if you don't have to go too far around to avoid monsters. So I'm going to be rolling a couple of random encounters. See if they happen. So your first 3 days past that incident, you're able to travel, avoiding noon as much as possible because it gets very, very hot and humid at midday. Traveling sort of in the morning
Not
and
used to this
in the evening.
moist heat.
Yeah, it's real rough for Mara. Your hair doesn't like it at all.
Oh yeah, Astrid's puffs are just like...
From time to time, Walloran will kind of twist their hand and bring a bit of a gust to kind of cool all of them down.
Nice. Willow, from your perch, you are able to have a really good view of the land. You see little houses every now and then. Some of them are intact, some of them are completely gutted, victims of war. You can see the old roads that were destroyed in the first advance of the monsters. These grand sort of paved, cobblestone paved highways that have just been smashed to bits. And on the third day, you see a pretty sizable ground patrol of armored creatures. You're far away enough that you don't know exactly what they are, but you've traveled this route enough to know precisely what they are, and they are hobgoblins. They dress in full chainmail armor with thick helmets, tall shields and long spears, and they notice you, but they don't have the means to attack you. So they continue on their patrol, and you are able to help the team avoid their route. On the fourth day, however, something interesting happens. It's mid-morning, a little bit before the time where you look for shade and stop in the afternoon. Willow, you see it on the horizon, the city, the urban center of Broadfurrow. It is many, many leagues east of you, out in the steppe, the drier, arid land beyond the savanna to the east. And one thing you know about Broadfurrow is that, in addition to being occupied by monsters, it is watched over by a powerful creature known as the Rock. Not Dwayne Johnson. You cannot smell what this rock is cooking. But a massive mythical bird of prey that is perched atop the occupied center of government. And today, the worst has happened. The mythical rock has left its perch, circled thrice around the city, and is now headed directly west for you. It is about 10 miles distant, but it is so large you can see it even at this distance. And it is accompanied by a tiny silhouetted flying shape, probably about the size of your eagle, flapping its wings in tandem with it.
Do I know what the flying
What
shape
the smaller
next to it
shape
would be?
is?
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Okay.
Mara has a spyglass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Would Birch be able to tell? Because Birch has
Ooh.
Eagle eyes.
yes.
Yes.
What do you see?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay.
For
Let
Birch.
me
Birch has
remember
advantage
how-
on
yes.
perception checks. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me.
I have the stats here.
Yep, there it is. I've got it if you want me to tell you.
Oh, okay. Well, now I've just gotten it. Okay, so it is +4.
Cool. Yep, and you have advantage.
Yeah. So that is a 19.
Very good. So Birch, of course, sees the rock, but Birch also sees the smaller creature, and they turn their head over to you and say, the other thing, it's like a flying snake with legs,
That's horrifying.
and there's an armored man on top of it too.
Is there an armored person on top of the rook?
No,
Okay.
but that thing, that bird is legendary. It has a keen mind. I don't think it bows to any master.
And we swoop down, and I've got some sort of bad news. There's a giant mythical bird heading our way.
And you look to the horizon,
Larger
you
than
can't
my
see
bird.
it. You-
Significantly larger.
Well, Ink, looks like you get to eat a giant bird after all.
And in fact, God, this is a striking image at this time of day because it is silhouetted against the still rising sun.
So Mora's gonna squint and pull out her spyglass so she can see this for herself.
Yeah, you're looking.
Hell of a drumstick.
Yeah, so this bird is covered in black, red, and blue plumage. It's beautiful.
Gonna get some feathers after all.
Beautiful if it weren't, if its eyes weren't filled with murderous intent. And you also see the creature flanking it. And it appears to be a hobgoblin in full armor, atop a tiny two-legged dragon with the neck frills of a hooded cobra.
Boy, I hate that.
Go ahead and make me a nature check. And I would say Astrid too, just by its description.
Well, that's a 2.
21.
So Mara is able to rattle off like the individual parts, practically
Mara's like, this thing is horrible.
Yeah, like practically unable to comprehend this mashup of parts. And Astrid, you have a moment of dawning horror where you realize that's a wyvern.
That's gonna suck.
Well, we weren't able to go to Broadfurrow and help them directly. Maybe now we can do our part.
Maybe.
Mara's kind of itching for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Astrid does her magical girl transformation, but instead of summoning the Swan Blade, she summons a longbow.
Nice.
Wait, which bows are finesse? Short bow?
All
all
bows
dex.
use dex.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah, so longbow's good.
Longbow will deal 1d8.
And it has a longer range too.
Yeah.
Its long range is like 480 feet, I think.
420, I believe.
I
before-
remember
yeah.
that number.
Okay, yeah. It's 120.
120, 480. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lauren would like to take a minute to cast Stone Skin
Very
on
nice.
himself in preparation.
I'm going to presume, since I said that rock is like miles out, and it's closing fairly fast, but like you have a moment to, if you cast Stone Skin now, how long does that spell last?
Concentration up to an hour.
Up to an hour. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was pumping the brakes just in case it was like a 1 minute
No.
duration, right? Yeah.
No, I'm waiting on Shillelagh, but for
Cool.
now we've got the Stone Skin.
Very good.
FYI, you have 15 spare temp hit
9.
points.
We have half
Or,
of
yeah,
yours,
you have 9. I lied. I have 15.
9 temporary hit points from Astrid's celestial
Okay.
Yeah.
auras.
Every day when I wake up.
Every time we take a short rest with you.
Yeah.
Neat.
Okay. So is there anything you'd like to do other than casting scone skin?
No.
That's delicious and
I'm
awful.
hungry.
Cannibals
Also
cast
not
scone
hungry.
skin.
Please cut this.
Goodbye. Into the ether with it. Is there anything else you'd like to do other than casting stone skin to prepare for the fight?
Maybe.
You do your transformation.
Can we
first.
find an area that's wooded where they'd have a harder time just diving down on us from above?
Go ahead and
Force them to land?
go ahead and make a perception check.
Or survival?
Sure.
It's a 14 survival.
The closest grove of trees is about 5 miles north of you. You wouldn't be able to make it.
Okay. Alright, let's just find a spot then.
Okay, let me explain the terrain to you. It's fairly flat and open, but about 100 feet to the east of you, there is a small rocky outcropping, maybe about 10 feet high.
I'd like to get in the shade of that outcropping so we're not fighting in the hot sun as
Absolutely.
much.
Yeah. It's about 10 feet high, it slants slightly westward, and it runs from north to south about 30 feet.
Okay.
So it's short, only about maybe 7 feet tall. So you have to kind of watch your head underneath it, but it does provide some natural cover.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of a tiny wellspring that bubbles up from underneath it.
Fill my flask.
Yeah, if some doesn't run red with blood first.
Well, fill it first.
Well, we've got some time.
Yeah.
As well.
Okay, so you
Mara starts stretching and she's sharpening her axe even though it doesn't need it.
you get ready, you adopt a ready stance, and then you hear it. Oh, are you up in the air? Are you down with them?
I am down with them, but still mounted.
Got it. Okay. So the sign that you know that combat is beginning is the screech. An incredible screech with the pitch and piercingness of an eagle's cry with all the growl and menace of a lion's roar pierces the air. It shrieks through your ears and you instinctively furrow your brow. And then with a roar like a jet engine, this bird passes not 50 feet above you. Vroom. All the grass goes from standing to following its jet stream. And it pulls a long arc. It basically a half-mile turnaround arc as it screams past you before it turns around and you can see it a mere 600 feet from you and heading close and heading towards you fast. The wyvern takes a bit of a slower route, and it begins its turning arc a long ways back. So it is about 200 feet to the north of you as it begins to turn in towards your position. Roll initiative.
Bad.
Uh-oh.
Hey folks, welcome to the middle of the episode. We've got kind of a shorter show for you today, but I hope you are enjoying our new guest star, Xandra, who's come to play with us today. We're having a lot of fun playing with them, and while we're sad to not have Cedric with us for the foreseeable future, Worlds Apart has still got a lot of cool stories left to tell in it, so I'm excited to keep on rolling with you guys. I'm going to keep this brief. If the episode's short, there's no reason to have a long mid-roll today. So let me talk real quick about Kobold Press and Courts of the Shadow Fae, which I've been talking about for the past couple of weeks, is now out. The pre-orders have closed, and the real book is available for purchase. And frankly, I love it. All of those things I've been talking about the past few weeks, the courtly intrigue, the romance, the fey nature of it all, it's all there, and it's all super fun. But I might as well tell you about an ongoing project the Kobold Press is running. It's called Warlock Lairs. It's a companion piece to their ongoing booklet of 5e design called Warlock, and these lairs are a project I've contributed to in the past, but they are short encounters, small dungeons, basically, that you can run a party of adventurers through in, 3-4 hours, a single one-shot game session, basically. I'm a big fan of these when I'm not running Worlds Apart. I love to have short encounters or lairs on hand, just to kind of throw into the middle of my game, just in case I need something, if I'm not prepared, if a player drops out and we're trying something off the beaten path. So Warlock Lairs is great. It's a pretty inexpensive little PDF for each one of them, and they're just designed by great people. Dan Dillon, myself, Wolfgang Bauer, all the names that you know and love. So with all of those out of the way, we don't have a lot more to talk about today before we get right back into the episode, so I won't take up any more of your time. Hope you enjoyed the last half of the show. See you soon.
So the rock has one initiative, and it roars in with its 120-foot flying speed and swoops on by. And you, Mara, can see it heading straight towards you. And it is going to rush straight for you, its talon extended, and it's going to rush at you.
Oh, and I have my shield out, my animated shield.
Yeah. And it is going to grapple you with one talon and bust through the rocks, sending a shower of gravel and dust everywhere and taking some damage. But I would like you to make a strength or dexterity check to try and avoid this grapple.
A check, yes?
Yeah, athletics or acrobatics.
And I'm not raging yet, because maybe I should have raged. Here. I have a question about rage.
Mm-hmm.
So rage is on your turn. You can enter a rage as a bonus action. Mm-hmm. Does that mean I can't prepare it as a reaction? Like I can't ready myself to rage?
Yeah,
you can only
because it's
ready
a bonus
actions.
action. Yep.
That sucks. Nope.
It rolled a 25 anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it has got you in its talon, and it busts through the rock, and it's going to take rock busting through rock. And it's going to take a not insignificant amount of damage. 5, 10, 8, 19. And it swoops into the air. It's about 30 feet in the air, and it's going to take its massive beak, this beak that is larger than your entire body, and it is going to try and just like chomp on your neck. And it's going to make an attack roll. Here we go. 27.
I beg your pardon? Yes, that hits.
And you're going to take... And so it doesn't get your head. You're able to twist slightly. But it is going to... it's going to tear through the top of your shoulder. And that's going to be 21 slashing damage.
Okay.
Okay. That brings it to Mara's turn with Astrid on deck.
Mara is going to rage.
Yeah.
The blood is just dripping out of the beak and out of Mara's shoulder. And she shouts in pain and anger. I would have to make a check as an action to get it to drop me, right?
Yeah, you'd have to break the grapple.
Am I restrained? And I'm restrained.
No, you're just grappled.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All that means basically is that your speed is 0.
Okay. I am still holding onto my axe. The first thing you learn is never drop your weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to try to hack at it. Eyes, if I can reach them, but just its face, whatever.
Yeah, so its face is kind of down near you, and you're attacking as it's pulling back up.
Yeah,
Sure.
and I'm going to reckless attack.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nat 20.
Nice.
Second attack. That'll be a 18 to hit.
That'll do it.
Okay. So let's see. We've got brutal critical. So that'll be 3d12 for the first attack.
Woo.
Yummy.
And that is 31 damage for the first attack.
Okay.
So I just slash right next to its eye, and the second attack is going to be 18 damage.
All right. Yeah, you cut into it, and you do see a little bit of blood trickling in between its massive feathers, but it seems unfazed by your assault.
And Mora just shouts, "Let's focus fire, go for its wings!"
You did such a good job!
Astrid, it's your turn. Willow, you're on deck.
Astrid's gonna holler at the bird, and just yell, "You let her go, bird brain!" And then shoot it twice.
Very nice.
And I am raging. Oh, that's not a melee attack roll. Never mind.
Okay. So are you attacking the rock?
Yes.
Cool.
That's gonna be 22.
That's a hit.
Fucking better be. It's gonna be 10 damage from the first one.
Okay.
I'm gonna attack again. Thirsting Blade, ooh, 13.
I'm not going to do it, unfortunately.
Bummer. And as a bonus action, I'm gonna heal Mara. You get 9 hit points.
Thank you.
So Mara's only 30 feet away, so I think that's fine, but
Yeah.
keep in mind the range of that healing for the future, because that rock's going to keep moving.
How many HP are you down?
I am down 12. Yeah, 12. I'm fine.
Okay. Brings us to Willow with the Wyvern Rider on deck.
All right. Question about Birch. If Birch is making an attack, is that instead of my attack?
Yeah, you'll have to use your action to command Birch to attack.
Cool.
But you can use Birch's movement instead of your own while mounted. Yeah.
Okay. I am going to command Birch to attack, and Birch gets 2 attacks, a beak and a talon, and I am aiming for the wings as Mara suggested, or I have commanded Birch to do so.
Right.
Oh, that's a melee attack. Birch has advantage because of my totem spirit that gives my friends advantage on melee attack rolls.
Mara's the leader of a wolf pack.
Okay, so then the first one, the beak attack, would be 13.
I'm not going to do it.
Nope. Okay, and then talons is gonna be 14.
One shy.
Damn.
Sorry. Okay.
Get through those thick feathers.
Yeah, it's all big plumage. All right.
I think Birch is a little hesitant and scared that this bird is like so much bigger than Birch And Birch is used to being the biggest bird around.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a jet plane-sized bird. Okay, so we are coming to the Wyvern Rider with the rock on deck, and this wyvern has just circled around, making a loud whistling of air as it does so, and it slams on the ground right in front, or right behind Astrid, near the rocks, about 30 feet away from you, and it hisses. And this hobgoblin, who is wearing heavy plate armor with a helmet with large curling horns on top, has a whip in one hand and raising goes, "Ah!" and whips the wyvern, and the wyvern snarls, and it rears its head back, and its hood flares open, and it spits a glob of venom at you, and it splashes right at your feet, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
9.
I
wish Zephyr was still here.
Yeah.
You have... Is that included?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is, yeah.
So this spit gets you right in the chest, and you can feel it just every little scar that you have, every closed wound begins to seep in even through that.
Ooh.
And you are going to take 42 poison damage.
Holy shit. Give me a dex save.
Okay. Here it comes. Nat 1.
Nice.
It's gonna take 12 fire damage.
All right, Hellish Rebuke.
God, 42 damage. The max is...
Let's write that down too.
Yeah.
You see it has these two big venom glands on the base of its neck, and they sort of deflate as it spits. Ooh. Okay, that's going to take us to the rock, and it is going to keep flying, and it shoots 120 feet east.
Sis.
And it rises up to 60 feet in the air.
I didn't gain the poisoned condition, did I?
No.
Thank God.
And it screeches out triumphantly.
The rock... Sorry, you said the rock rises up?
Mm-hmm.
Then some people would get opportunity attacks.
Yeah, so either you or your bird could make an opportunity attack on the rock.
I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna whack him with my my quarterstaff from Birch's back.
Very nice.
And that is still melee, so do I still get
Yes, you
advantage?
do have advantage.
Okay.
Because I am sure I'm next to this rock.
Yep.
Cool. Both of those are 10s. But I have... So that's a 19.
That'll do it.
Damn.
Cool. So that is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. Plus 2 is...
13.
Yes, thank you. 13 damage.
Very nice. That is... It hits the rock's feathers with a resounding crack. You struck true. Nevertheless, it still shoots out. So it actually goes 90 feet eastward and 30 feet upward.
Oh no.
So it's at a total of 60 feet above the ground.
Oh,
and
no.
it is going to make one more beak attack at you. And has
Shit.
advantage.
It does.
With a max roll of 16.
That does not hit. So it tries to bite down on me, but my spirit wolf gets in there and it just is like trying to bite through the magic of this wolf.
Yeah, like the wolf interposes itself into the mouth, and it screeches and it turns to you. It locks eyes with you, and you hear rumbling in your mind this deep spiritual voice that says, "Perhaps I will drop you on the rocks and suck the marrow from your bones instead." And it lets go of its claw, and you are no longer grappled.
Okay. And I'm 60 feet up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'll start your next turn there. It's your next turn.
Oh, it's my turn.
Would you like to use your action to attack before you drop?
You know, I sure would. Actually, wait, or could I use my action to try to grab its claw?
Okay.
It's gonna be a hell of a dex check.
Could it be a strength check to try to grab on? Or is it a dex check to try?
Give me an acrobatics check as your reaction to have the wherewithal to do that.
Acrobatics, that's 18.
Yes. So now you can make a...
It did tell me.
Yeah. So now you can make an athletics check to grab the talon.
Cool. That is athletics. That's a 25.
All right. With a roll like that, you don't even have to drop your axe to full body. Hang on.
First lesson: never drop your weapon. It is a two-handed weapon, though, so I won't be able to attack with it.
So with your legs and one arm, you are able to wrap yourself around one of its mighty talons. So you've got your great axe kind of dangling by your right hand, but you have both legs and your left arm gripped on that talon.
Cool. And was that my action to grab on?
I would say you could sheath your great axe if you wanted to. As the rest of your turn.
I'll do that so I can grab on better. Can I pull out a hand axe? Maybe 1 minute.
I think you can do that as part of your next action.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So Mara gets her great axe that clicks the handle into the sheath with one arm and holds on. It's like, you can try, bird brain.
All right. That's Astrid with Willow on deck.
Astrid yanks on Ink's reins and drives him to get underneath Mara. His speed is 50, so if he dashes, we can be there.
Cool.
And then...
But they are 60 feet above you.
Yeah, just in case she falls, we can catch her.
Okay, great.
I figure a cat is a much softer landing than the ground.
Fair.
And Astrid's gonna... Actually, magic missile.
Nice.
This guy. All of them right at this bird.
Cool, so your cloak billows out, get Ghibli style, and...
Yep. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, plus 7, that's 22.
Bam. This rock is pelted with stars.
Making ink dash was my bonus action, right?
Yeah, that's fine. I think we can say that.
That makes
Okay,
sense.
so then that's all I can do.
Cool. I think technically it should require your action to dash because you're giving a command to dash, but we're fine for now.
Changes movement, but yeah.
Anyway, I think if you were a rogue, you could bonus action command it to dash because of that cunning action. Anyhow, it is Willow's turn with the wyverns on deck.
All right. Am I closer at this point to the wyvern or to the
rock?
The wyvern is on the ground, 30 feet back. The rock is 90 feet ahead. Yeah, you're closer to the wyvern.
Okay. Okay, this is possibly a little weird move. Can I, is it an action to dismount the eagle?
Nope, it's 5 feet of movement.
Okay. So if we could fly towards the wyvern, and then I would like to drop off of the eagle behind the eagle, because I am a Lightfoot halfling and can hide behind larger creatures.
Oh.
So I'd like to be a little bit sneaky there. And cast Shillelagh and strike at the wyvern.
At the wyvern or the rider?
At the wyvern.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you sneak up behind, or you hide behind the eagle and then drop. And the wyvern and its rider, are distracted by your bird expecting attack from Birch, but it swoops past and you land and strike at the wyvern. So make an attack roll with advantage.
Okay. That is 28.
Yeah, that'll do it. Woo! Right on.
Small and beefy.
Cool, roll damage.
Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, and then that is not great. That is a 7.
Okay. That's gonna leave a welt for sure. Okay.
And I'd like to call out to Mara, if you fall, I've got you. Don't worry about it. You're safe.
I was like, right, safe. Thanks.
See, you say that.
You're gonna be okay. I promise.
So the Wyvern Rider stands and sees you on his beast's back and turns and grunts something nasty in the goblin language. He turns about and raises a... that's tough. Okay.
Oh, is the poor hobgoblin having problems?
Yeah, because he's got a lance, but you are too close for him to use it effectively. He has his big lance out, but it is used for attacking faraway targets, so he's going to attack twice with disadvantage.
He's also got like a bullwhip, doesn't he?
Yeah, but it's not really a martial weapon. So that's going to be
So
a
hard.
16 to hit with the first attack.
Is this non-magical lance?
Yeah.
I do have resistance
Ooh.
to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Right
from
on.
Stone skin.
So that'll half the damage, but does a 16 hit you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. He's going to make another attack. That one will definitely not hit with a 9.
Mhm.
And he's going to, with his other hand, he's also going to take a dagger from his belt and just like throw it at you. It's a ranged weapon in melee range, so it's going to,
Also disadvantage.
yeah, that's still going to be a 21 to hit though. So,
Ooh.
you are going to take a total of 3, 2, 5, 6, 11 damage.
Okay, and that's already halved, or do I have
Oh, yeah, so you take 5 damage.
Cool.
Whoa. Okay. That brings us to the rock. It looks at you in annoyance. It halts its movement and begins just flapping its wings in place. And it is going to take its talon and raise it up to its eyes and kind of look at you.
Can it do that? Fine.
Yeah, I think so. Or, it's going to raise it up to here
Yeah.
and look down at least. And it's going to make this low sort of hissing noise in the back of its throat and then just go... I'd like you to make a strength saving throw, please.
Okay.
Look at her wrist.
Oh no, I have advantage, but I rolled a 1 and a 4.
Oh, no.
Use
F.
my inspiration. It's a strength saving throw.
Pretty
It's,
decent.
13.
You want to use your inspiration?
No.
All right. You lose your grip, and you are flung towards the ground below.
As a reaction, Lauren would like to turn away from the rider and point their staff towards you, and cast Featherfall.
Oh, very nice.
So good.
So
Yeah.
Mara's flying through the air and then suddenly starts to slow.
And I believe the way Featherfall works, it actually casts it on all of you.
If you want, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
so,
think you
just
have
in
to
case.
be falling.
Oh, is that so?
Creature
Okay.
who is falling. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
Okay, cool. So, Mara, you suddenly feel yourself drifting like a leaf, buoyed by gentle breeze.
Mara makes a rude gesture at the rock.
And it looks at you, and it swoops down and bites you.
Okay. Good try.
But you did not reckless attack last turn, so it does not
That
have
is very true.
advantage. That is, however, a 22 to hit.
Yeah,
I feel like it should be a disadvantage since she's falling through the air.
it is a bird.
It's that's kind of
Yeah.
like how birds attack, isn't it?
They usually attack things that are stationary, do they not?
I mean, I feel like
falling
I've
pretty
heard of
slowly, though.
birds who, like, torture their prey, basically, by just, like...
This, if any bird were, this bird would.
Yeah.
That is going to be 23 damage, cut in half, 11 damage.
Okay.
Cool. That brings us to Mara's turn. You are gently drifting down, and the rock has just sort of swooped past you.
Well, can I attack it as it goes past me?
Absolutely.
Would that, has it swooped past, or?
So it is in the process of swooping.
Okay. So I put my great axe away, but now that I'm feather falling, I'll just pull the axe out again. It feels even lighter now that all of me is light, and I'm going to reckless attack this rock.
Cool.
It's gotta be reckless. I'm already falling through the air. How much more reckless could you get? That's a 20 non-natural.
Yep.
And more than that.
23?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even bother calculating if it's more than 20. And let's see. It's cocked. Nice. So that'll be 10 plus 16 is 31 damage.
Okay. It is bloodied. You tear a long gash through its right wing, and a torrent of slightly red-tinged white feathers tears from its wing and floats down to the ground. Very good. And on your turn, you gently spiral down to the ground and land with a ploof on the grass below.
Thanks.
How are you doing?
I'm
Thanks!
fine.
You shout from 90 feet away.
Oh, thanks! I'm fine!
Can I set up HP?
I don't have one yet. Okay, so we come to Astrid with Willow on deck. Take all the time you need.
Guess what I'm gonna do.
While they're looking that up, can I ask,
Here's some BPO.
lightning bolt, when you... It says you can cast it in a line. Can you cast it in, like, a diagonal line in the air?
Totally.
Cool.
I'm casting my Mystic Arcana Sunbeam at this bird, not Sunburst. I need to make a note. The better spell.
Okay.
A beam of brilliant light flashes out from your hand in a 5-foot wide, 60-foot long line. Each creature in the line must make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, so that is 60-foot long line. So yeah, if you
She was
run
under it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're directly under it. Yeah. Okay. Constitution saving throw. It's pretty good at those. But I've rolled a 2. That's a total of 11.
Like 68 radiant damage.
Woo.
You want some D8, my friend?
Probably.
I've got some as well. Oh,
Here's 4.
yep.
I need you. $31 damage.
Whoa.
And what else happens? And it's blind
Oh.
until my next turn. Wait.
Oh, wow, you can create a new line of radiance as your action at any turn until the spell ends.
Yep, it's blind until my next turn, and I can just keep doing that.
What color is this light?
Rose gold.
Always rose gold.
Always rose gold. Her radiant magic is always rose gold. Cool.
Nice. Hot damn. Willow, your turn. Wyvern's on deck.
All right. I would like to move slightly. I would like to jump off the wyvern's back.
Cool.
But-
Onto the ground.
Okay. And then I would like to.
Oh, actually, that does. No, you don't. You haven't left its reach.
Okay.
Uh,
How far away is the rock from me?
the rock is 60 feet up and 90 feet away, so if we use the Pythagorean theorem.
Can we not?
60, 30, 90. I mean, wait, there's the angles.
Yeah.
Cut that.
I'm gonna look it up super quick. There must be a calculator online. So it is just over 100 feet away from you.
Just over.
You mean
Yeah,
to
108.
catch both, yeah.
Yeah. I guess
Are you trying to catch both or just the...
Yeah.
yeah.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to cast lightning bolt so that it hits like that.
And what's the length of the lightning bolt?
100 feet.
Oh, really?
100-foot line.
That's rough.
Yeah.
It's really 100 feet, not 120? That's surprising to me.
120 is usually the range of something, but lines are usually like 100 feet.
Yeah, it's
10 feet or something.
108 feet away.
Well, Lauren doesn't gauge that, so so they cast it like that anyway.
Okay.
And it goes. It'll hit both the rider and the wyvern.
Yes. So they make dexterity saves.
And then just kind of goes.
The rider is going to get a 5 and fail. The wyvern itself is going to
Appreciate
get a
the
7 and
in-character,
fail. And yeah, the rock sees this lightning fizzle out very close to it. It doesn't see it at all. It hears this lightning fizzle out very close to it, but it's just sort of moving. It's kind of spiraling in midair frantically right now.
Some of its feathers stand on end.
Yeah. Cool. Roll me those 8d6 lightning damages.
Sure will. Also, no, never mind. I cannot math right now. 6, 12, 18, 20, 28, 31.
Nice.
Oof, to
Wow,
both.
that's 3 31s in a row.
That's wild.
We're all very balanced.
Huh. That's interesting.
What a very bizarre coincidence.
That's a somewhat interesting comment right there. Okay. All right. Both the wyvern and its rider jitter a little bit as this lightning courses through them. A little bit of smoke emerges from the knight's collar.
Anything flammable will catch fire.
That's not being worn or carried, or just...
Oh, wait. Yeah, I think that's...
So the wyvern's saddlebags...
grass.
No, it's being worn and carried, actually.
Grass.
Yeah. No, but you've aimed it up.
That's true.
So nothing catches on fire, which I think in this case is good for you.
Yeah. That was also sort of my intent because,
Druid.
I love these forests.
Protect nature. Okay.
Or these...
This grassland.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Wyvern's turn. The rider shouts out in pain and shouts a command to his creature. And first he's going to make 2 lance attacks. You are now far enough away that he can do it safely. So here they come. Rolled a 10 and 4, so we one hit. Yeah.
I took damage. I forgot to roll
yes.
my...
Roll a DC 10 Constitution saving throw.
You're good.
Oh yeah. That's a 19.
So you're going to take a little more damage. 1 lance hit struck you.
Okay.
That's going to be 5 damage, cut in half to 2, but unfortunately will require you to make another concentration save.
And that's a 5.
Oh, so there goes the stone skin.
Yep.
And as this hobgoblin shouts a command, the war wyvern is going to take its armor-plated, scorpion-like stinger tail and hook it around and try and get you. Mm-hmm. So here comes the stinger.
Platypus ass monsters.
How much did you say the damage was before?
2.
2. Okay. I'm still...
Shame that's the thing that broke your concentration, but... So, get this. Okay, what's your AC right now?
14.
Okay, it rolled an 11. So it misses, and the arc at which it swung its tail is such that if its momentum was not stopped by you, it would go right into its rider. So that tail is going to make another attack roll against the wyvern. And that is going to be a 20, which is an exact hit. And so, first of all, the hobgoblin rider takes 12 piercing damage. It makes a
And also
constitution
12
saving
shame
throw.
damage.
It makes a constitution saving throw, a total of 14, which fails. It takes an additional 24 poison damage.
The gods have smiled upon us.
And this rider is bloodied. It has this, you can see a hole in its chest plate has been torn away, and there is this veiny purple hole kind of in the center of its chest as it's pulsing.
Nasty. And Astrid's like, dang, halflings really are lucky.
And okay, we're good. It is the rock's turn. It is blinded. It's going to make a perception check with disadvantage. It has advantage on perception checks that rely on sight, but it can't make
So it doesn't
those.
rely on sight, so it doesn't cancel out.
Yeah, so it's going to make a perception check using hearing, which is normal, just to try and identify where everything is. There have been a lot of like explosive, zappy spell effects going on, so it's pretty disoriented. Yeah, that's a 7. So it is going to sort of fly in this wobbly, sort of oblong circle using its 120 feet of movement, just sort of circling like a vulture. And that's Mara's turn.
Would I have advantage on throwing a javelin at it because it's blinded, or is that only for melee?
Blinded. Attack rolls against it have advantage.
Cool. So I'm gonna run a little closer back to Auredane, but wait for it to come down to one of those low points in its wobbly swing, and throw a javelin at it.
Nice.
And so I get 40 feet closer to Wallar and the Wyvern. And let's see. That's only melee, so yeah, just a normal attack roll. That's over 20.
No. It's strength attacks, right? Or is
No,
it
it's
melee?
melee.
Ah.
But I have advantage because it's blinded.
Okay.
We decided.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's still over 20. Oh wait, that's not a D12, it's javelin.
D6.
Yeah. Okay, that's 6 damage.
Alright, that's not nothing.
But I have a second attack, so I'll throw another javelin at it.
Pew pew.
And that is a 20 non-natural to hit. So second javelin, that's better, that's a 10.
Very nice. Okay, it is Astrid's turn.
Yes, and it is not unblinded till the end of this turn.
Sure.
As an action, I can create another line and do it again. So I'm going to do that.
All right.
Let me actually just triple check that.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yep. I remember being amazed by that.
You have this moat that you're holding in
Yeah.
your hands, yeah.
Let's see, that is 12.
Oh, it gets to make another saving throw, yeah?
Yes.
Against this one, yeah.
Yeah. What's it? Constitution?
Con, yeah.
Okay. 17.
Your
My
DC.
DC, I think, is 16. It won't know it's coming, though.
It's not about evasion, right? It's about, you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
so it does
toughing
save
out.
against
Sticking
this one.
with it,
But it
okay.
still takes half damage.
That's true.
I don't think it's blinded, though.
Right.
Okay.
Damn, like, blind locking this bird, that would be nasty.
So, 10, 20,
Uh-oh.
28, including my +4.
28.
I don't think I have any attacks that are a bonus action.
You could bonus action heal yourself.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
And it was 28 halved, right?
Yeah,
28 in... 20 was the full damage, or 20
28
was...
is the full damage.
Okay, got it.
And I heal for 12.
Woof! This bird is scorched, is covered in blackening and radiant gold burn scars, and it's got 2 javelins sticking out of it, and it's dripping crimson blood everywhere. We come to Willow. What you gonna do?
So as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Guardian of Nature.
Nice.
And so if you were to look at Lauren, you would see that their wooden brace that they have sort of as an armor plate sort of seems to be extending further into their skin, and leaves begin sprouting.
Oh, cool.
While I'm on the ground, that's 15 feet of me is around me is difficult terrain for enemies. And then, having done that, I am going to... I'm going to cast from my staff Maximilian's Earthen Grip
Very good. Upon whom?
upon the wyvern.
Cool. So what do I have to do about that?
So you must make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Whoop. That is an 11. I don't think that succeeds.
No, it does not. So you take 2d6 bludgeoning,
Right?
which is 6. Yeah. Oh, never mind. Cool. So that is it.
Okay. It is the wyvern's turn. It is. Does it do anything more? Does it like grip onto it? I feel like that spell does a little bit more.
Out of the ground comes a stone hand that reaches and grabs the wyvern, and then it just holds them, and I can on future turns I can use an action to make the hand crush.
Cool. Is it restrained?
Awesome.
I feel like it should be. Let's see. Yes, restrained.
Cool. That's what I really wanted to know. So,
Gotcha.
all of y'all, it being restrained, its speed is nothing. Its tackles are at disadvantage. Your attacks against it are at advantage, and it has disadvantage on dexterity saves.
Nice.
Cool. It is its turn. The wyvern rider is going to leap off the wyvern and is going to attack you, Willow. It is going to attack Willow with its lance again. Here comes the usual stuff. That's a nat 20.
Ooh.
The other one misses. Actually, I think the other one hits with a 15.
Yep, that does, regrettably.
Uh-oh.
He is on difficult terrain if that makes a difference.
No, it just counts his movement. That is 31 damage.
Non-magical.
Non-magical, so cut in half to 15.
Oh wait, never mind. That was stone skin. I don't have that anymore.
31 in total. And I would like you to make another Constitution save.
Okay.
And this one will be...
And that I get with advantage.
Yes. So it's actually going to be 2 saves.
Okay.
From one from each attack.
Okay.
This episode is brought to you by the number 31.
Yeah, really.
Jesus, I did that too.
Yeah.
What the heck?
My first save, I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Oh no! Do you have inspiration? You have inspiration.
You have
I do have
inspiration if you'd like to
that's
spend
true.
it.
How do I use that again?
So,
Just roll another d20.
Okay.
Thank you.
Re-roll that. Okay, that's a little better.
It's DC.
You just got to beat 10.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Cool. So make one more because he hit you twice.
Okay.
And you have,
Another one against
you have
10.
advantage still, yeah.
That's an 18
Very
plus
good.
whatever bonus.
Astrid.
And that was 31.
Let's actually. Yeah, Astrid, you see the wyvern's venom glands inflate again. And it is going to leap off the ground, leaving its rider on the ground.
And it
The
can't,
wyvern
it's
is
restrained.
restrained.
Oh, it is going to try and do that. Going to make a strength check to try. Can I make a strength check to break out of your earthen grasp, Cassandra?
Yes.
Throw on a failed save as an action.
To break out, the restrained target can make a strength check against your spell DC.
Cool. It's making a strength check. That's a 23. I think that breaks through. So it buckles in and it blasts its wings out, and the earthen hand is shattered and it goes scattering in all directions. And it uses its movement to fly 30 feet over and perches on top of the little stone outcropping, and its beady eyes
What's left of it.
are focusing right on you, Mara.
Okay.
Okay, it is the rock's turn. The rock, no longer blinded, is going to finish one long circle and is going to screech again, that roar like a piercing whine with the growl of a lion.
Astrid screams back.
And all three of you hear, "I was unprepared for your strength. This is a reminder, though. If you come to Broadfurrow, we will be ready for you." And it's going to finish its circle and fly, bloody, bruised, and insulted, back to the city. It flies 120 feet eastward.
Wait.
Pretty sure it's 120.
The range on Earthbind is 300 feet, but I don't know if I can...
Yeah, but on your turn you could.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, so let's see, 120 feet that way. It's 150 feet away from you right now.
Okay, range is 300 feet. And
That is a very situational spell, but in its situation, whoa.
Yep.
Okay, cool. That is the rock's turn. We come to Mara.
Okay, so the rock's gotten pretty far away. I'm gonna run up to the wyvern rider that's been attacking Willow and reckless attack him with my great axe.
Go for it.
Astrid shouts, "Go for the knees!"
Over 20
Yep.
and over 20.
Yep.
Not bad. That is 32 damage.
Oomph. Not a 31, sorry.
Not 31, better. Mara goes high, chopping into the shoulder, and low, the knees.
This hobgoblin is gravely wounded. Your axe, one goes for the knees. He basically buckles down a little bit, and in your next strike, as you pull back, the butt of your axe catches the bottom of its helmet and cracks it off. And he reels backwards, hissing. You see its sphinx-like cat, wrinkled head, its big ears twitching, and it just hisses cat-like at you.
Mara growls like a wolf.
Yeah, very
and-
good.
Willow, can you stop that thing?
I think so.
Right on. Astrid's turn, Willow on deck.
I was torn between trying to shoot at the rock, but I know that wyvern is a more immediate threat, so I'm gonna focus my sunbeam on it.
Astrid's just like blasting out sunbeams. Con save from the wyvern.
Yes. 18.
Still takes 15 damage.
Okay,
Um,
that ain't nothing.
and let's see. I'm also gonna heal Willow a little bit. Wait, how much damage have you taken? Like a lot?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you took like 30 something.
Yeah, but I had the temp hit
Yeah.
points from y'all, and then I had the temp hit points from Guardian of Nature,
Okay.
which was 10 hit.
How
Temp.
are you?
So I'm at 50.
I'm fine.
Okay, then never
Like, still, yeah. I'm in the 90s.
doing surprisingly well for having taken 42 damage earlier.
Doing surprisingly
hit.
well for having been grabbed by a rock and dropped from 60 feet. Like,
We are very prepared, apparently. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
yeah.
Constant vigilance.
Love that quote.
I don't think there's much else I can do.
Use a quote all the damn time.
I will actually tell the wyvern, you should flee while you can.
Ooh.
Yeah, with beast speech.
So it is a dragon, not a beast, but it does seem to understand common, and it looks at you, and its forked snake-like tongue flickers out, and it...
Can I roll intimidation?
Yeah, please.
Or persuasion?
Go ahead and roll intimidation for me.
I'm not proficient in that one. 15.
It looks intimidated by you. It doesn't look like it's going to abandon its course quite yet, but it definitely respects you as a threat. Okay.
I swear to God, if it spits poison at me.
It is Willow's turn.
Alright. And the rock is still within 300 feet?
Yep, it's 150 feet from you.
Cool. Valoran takes like a small second to breathe and brings their staff up in the air and slams it into the ground, and you see this chunk of citrine in the side of the staff that bursts out these yellow strips of magical energy, and they loop towards the rock, and you must make a strength saving throw.
Super cool. How's it not proficient in those?
Oh, good.
I guess his strength is +9. 7 + 9, 16.
I want to use my inspiration to give it disadvantage.
I'll allow it. It's a gamble. It's probably going to beat 7, but... Yeah, 19 + 9.
Yeah, okay. Then it fails,
All right.
regrettably.
It bursts free of these yellow strips, but...
So cool.
Another chance at this. It is Wyvern and its rider's turn. The Wyvern, which glanced briefly at Astrid, is going to refocus on Mara and spit venom one more time. I'd like you to make a Constitution save as you are splashed full in the chest. These poisons seeping into your wounds.
24.
Okay.
22.
You take half damage. You take 21 poison. And the Wyvern Rider is going to run past Willow towards Astrid.
Does that provoke?
It does. If you'd like to take a whack at him with your staff.
Yes, I very much would.
With the hit and stick.
A walking stick and a hitting stick and a casting stick.
And it's been more than a minute since the last
think
time
so,
I
actually.
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope, it's still up.
Cool. All right, that is...
It's just one attack, I believe.
Yeah, just one
Yeah,
attack.
but I have advantage because of Guardian of Nature,
Wow.
which is still...
Cool.
Right on.
Yep. Yeah, so that is more than 20.
That'll do it.
Nice. That is 10 damage.
Nice. Okay. And
Wait,
that is gonna,
11, sorry.
That is going to do it. Your
Knock this guy's head off.
your staff cracks into this hobgoblin's now unarmored head, and you hear a crack as the right side of his skull caves, and he just little blood flies out of his mouth, and he just hits the grass, tumbles a bit, and his body basically disappears from sight in the golden grass. His lance sort of stands straight up for a moment, and then falls down.
At this, Astrid just locks eyes with the wyvern.
On your turn, then. It is the rock's turn. It is going to continue to fly 120 feet. And that is its turn. Mara.
Okay. This wyvern that just spat acid on me, I am going to attack it with my great axe. I'm going to scramble up on what's left of these rocks, and just swing, recklessly. We are going to finish this fight.
Yeah.
That is a 21 and a 29.
Yeah, those hit.
And, no, sorry, at 27, but yeah.
Oh, no.
Only a
27
27. That is...
Let's just say 31, okay?
It's I rolled a little lower, but 25.
Not that much lower. All right, this wyvern is in bad shape. You have cleaved through its well-armored chest plate, and you can now see blood dripping down its scaly belly. Oof, okay. Astrid.
So the bird is
The wyvern is 270 feet away from you.
the rock.
Yes. The rock is 127.
170.
270 feet.
Take a third.
The rock...
Dwayne the Rock.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Where's the bird?
The rock is 270 feet away from you. Yeah.
Okay.
The wyvern is within like 30 feet.
Okay. To shoot at long range is disadvantage, right?
Yes.
I'll try it.
270.
Yeah, it's within a longbow.
Ooh. Still real good.
Yeah.
Over 20 for the first one. 7 damage. And then...
7 damage puts it at 222 damage taken.
15 to hit.
Exact hit.
Oh, tasty.
You got a beat on it.
11 damage.
233. It is clinging to consciousness, this beast. Ink is starting to growl. It can smell blood in the water, to use a phrase.
And she's gonna flip the reins and make Ink chase it.
All right. And what's I would say Ink's running
Ink's speed is 50.
50 feet. Yeah. Pa-pum, pa-pum, pa-pum.
I guess I could have
200.
done that first and gotten in range, but whatever.
220 feet away, right?
You still wouldn't have been in
270.
range, but yeah.
So, and then 50 feet, 220 feet away from you. Cool. Okay. Lauren.
All right. Frustrated that didn't work the first time, Lauren's going to try Earth and Bind again.
You
All
can
right.
get on your eagle if you want.
That will help.
Just to chase it if you want to.
Oh.
Okay.
2 on the dice. 11 total.
Oh, that fails.
I'm taking a picture of it.
Yep. I have a
That's the
DC of
truth.
15.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, so those yellow citrine-colored ribbons of magical energy spiral out from your staff. They stretch all the way across the sky, nearly 300 feet from your staff, growing larger and wider as they burst from this one point until they wrap like ribbons around the rock. And I'm trying to think of another alliterative phrase I can pull out just like that. And they wrap like ribbons around the rock, binding its wings to its back and tearing it down almost like a whip cracking on the ground in the rock. Well, the spell says it gently drifts down, but it is pulled down and crashes into the ground. Now, tell me the back half of that spell. Like after it is earthbound, what happens?
Its speed becomes 0. I know that much. Let me grab the rest of it.
It's an elemental evil spell. Otherwise, I'd look it up myself.
You know, in the original Sword Coast handbook, this spell was called Mother.
Let's see.
There's a deep cut for you.
That's a deep cut. Someone will get that joke.
Yeah. Flying speed is reduced to 0 feet for the spell's duration. An airborne creature affected by this spell descends at 60 feet per round until it reaches the ground or the spell ends.
Cool.
Which the spell lasts up to a minute.
It was 90 feet in the air, so it is still in the air, being slowly dragged down. So you've still got those binds emerging from your
I imagine
staff.
it's trying to struggle, but
Yeah.
they're just pulling it tighter and tighter, pulling it down.
Does it get to make additional saves against it, or is it just grabbed?
It's just grabbed.
Incredible. Okay.
And actually, yeah, I will mount Birch, and then move towards the rock.
And Birch's flying speed is 80?
80, so that
Okay.
would be 75.
You're at 190, you're at 220. Oh boy, I hope I remember these. Yeah, so away you go.
Big burb.
Um,
Not the biggest burb, but a big burb.
Big bird, not the biggest. Okay, Wyvern's turn. The Wyvern looks at Astrid. It's going to make another wisdom save. It loses its cool with a 3 plus something, total of 8. It looks at you, looks at what just happened to its rider, and sort of barks a couple of times, flaps its wings. It curls its cobra-like hood kind of in close to its neck, and with a flick of its scorpion-like tail, shoots into the sky.
Does a 15 hit it?
Yeah, that's an exact hit on its scale mail.
We're just all about fucking up these monsters.
It's max damage.
Wyvern skin is very valuable.
We're here to
We're gonna
kill!
let this wyvern go back to Broadfur and terrorize the people. That's 20 damage.
Hold on. 20, 106. 3 hit points left.
No! Oh.
Wait.
It's gonna fly like 100 feet and then bleed out and fall.
Yeah, so it flies 80 feet to the east. It's skimming just like 10 feet above the ground right now. Whew. Okay. The rock's turn. It is straining against its binds, but is inexorably dragged downward. It does nothing. Mara, your turn.
Mara's like, oh, for the love of... And I'm gonna mount Seda.
Uh-huh. Your horse.
Yeah, and...
For those back home who haven't heard the name of Mara's horse this episode.
And... Oh, let's see. Then... God. The
Got another
wyvern is
javelin?
how many feet away? I do. I have one more
So
javelin.
it is 10 feet off the ground
Oh, I
and
have
80
more
feet
javelins.
away from you.
Okay.
Yeah, riding Seda will get you within javelin range for sure.
Yes, just... Well, javelin range is only 30 feet.
How fast can Seda run?
Oh, right. Seda can run a lot faster than I can. Good. I think 50 feet.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to attack this wyvern. Want to finish the damn thing off.
Is that a nat 1?
No. Oh, yep, that sure is.
Got another one of those?
I do! I'm going to mark down our barring pretzel, sorry, but I have used 3 javelins so far this fight. Okay, that's over 20. Mara
think from
throws one
strength
javelin
bonus
on
alone.
horseback, and then it's like, okay, come on.
And it whistles through the air, and you see it go cleanly through its serpentine neck. It chokes and flutters. It sort of raises in the air, unmoving for a moment, and then slams into the ground. It digs a little furrow of dirt, and it is actually fittingly partially buried by dirt and scree as it hits the ground.
Nice.
Wyvern down. Only
That's
the
my
rock is
turn.
left.
Good job, Mara!
It is Astrid's turn. The rock is 220 feet away from you.
I'm gonna pull 50 feet closer.
170.
Cool. Still not in close bow range.
You can use your action to double move if you wanted to get closer.
But then I can't attack.
Fair.
I just want this stupid bird to die. One of those was a nat 20, but the other one was a non-nat 20, so... Suck it, bird! Oof, the other one does not hit.
But you still hit with 1.
Yep.
What's the total here?
10.
Oof. This rock, like...
It's restrained.
Oh, yes. So all of those rolls had advantage.
Which canceled out the
which canceled
disadvantage.
it out.
Oh.
Okay. I will take the first hit as true. I'd just like you to re-roll once the second hit that missed.
9 plus 8, 17.
That's a hit.
Minimum damage. 9.
That's good enough. So from well over 100 feet away, let's just have the tracking shot of the arrow, right? It slow-mo leaves your bow. The arrow.
What do Astrid's magical arrows look like? This is a
Well,
hacked weapon,
oh, yeah,
right?
I want to visualize this. Show me the
heads
flight
are
of this arrow.
actually, like a 4-pointed star with like the top point being long enough to,
Cool.
be an arrow. And the feathers actually kind of resemble like what's the back of it called?
Fletching.
Fletching, that's right. Kind of resemble the fin on Astrid's tail.
Ooh.
And they're technically they're like intangible. Like the bow doesn't have a string. It's kind of like Takumi Tsuchigumi.
Yeah.
For anyone who actually played Fire Emblem Fates. And like they just sort of coalesce out of light when she draws the string, and kind of form as it shoots.
Nice.
Oh.
And they stream like stars and glitter.
Cool. And this arrow of light shoots through the air, and it catches the rock straight in its left eye as it turns to look at you, and you see this ray of light just pierce straight through the back of its skull. And it lets out in one long whining roar, and then as your spell drags it to the ground, it collapses dead.
Can I make a nature check? Are rocks edible? Yes. My check is yes.
Listen, out of context, the question, are rocks edible?
Depends on the rock.
Depends if they're covered with moss.
Ink is down to chomp.
Wait 1 second. Is there any part of a rock that I know would be easily distinguishable as coming from a rock that could be sold or used as proof of
Taking
slaying?
down this rock.
Yeah, so rock's talons have a very distinctive hardness, actually. They're steel strong. And, you know, between their size and their power, there's basically two options, a dragon or a rock. And given that there are no dragons around, you've only got one option left.
Okay.
Its distinctive red and blue plumage is a good call. Its massive beak could come from nothing else but a rock.
Astrid does collect like a couple handfuls of feathers.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting black feathers, red feathers, blue feathers,
All of them.
sort of tawny feathers, yeah.
White belly feathers.
Waloran
Yeah.
also collects some feathers, and Waloran would like to grab those talons
Mm-hmm.
and the beak.
Nice. That beak is
One of those talons would make such a cool fucking dagger.
long sword, great sword.
Yeah.
That's a
Maybe
great sword
someone
size.
Arvyx
Yeah.
can-
A rock talon greatsword would be sick as fuck for Mara. Let me just say.
Oh. Yeah, I think we're definitely. I think Willow seems to know what they're doing with this, so we'll gloss over the grisly details, but we're definitely gonna strip this rock and wyvern.
Yep.
I'm trying to visualize the size of these components because this is a bird with a 200-foot wingspan.
So each of its
and-
feet are the size of landing gear.
Yeah, basically. So that's like that's
a great
easily
sword.
like a 7-foot-long talon, basically.
But the
Would it
tip
fit
part
in a
could
bag
be-
of holding?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Then we're good.
And each claw has 3 talons
Yeah,
on it, so
so-
you can just.
Okay, so that's 6
rock
rock
talons.
talons.
Yeah.
One rock beak.
The rock beak you're going to have a hard time with. Fitting it, the
I
bag
have
of
a
holding
gross
just doesn't
idea.
open wide enough to get it in there. But I think you could strap it to Ink's back.
Okay.
Yeah, or Raphael.
Oh yeah, the pack horse. Absolutely.
One rock beak.
And
That rock beak is like, I'm thinking that's the size of like a plane cockpit, basically.
Jesus, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh god, wait, that's a horse probably couldn't carry that.
I'll bet Ink could carry that. Ink just wouldn't be fighting with that thing on its back.
Oh my god, I want to fashion it into a helmet for Ink.
Whoa, that's like full body armor for Ink. Well, no, he's like
No.
12 feet long.
Incredible.
That could be a really cool helmet into
Incredible.
like saddle back piece for him. Yeah. Woo.
The bottom jaw is probably about the size of its head.
Yeah. Cool.
It's like, if you think of like the whole bird head.
Ink complains a little bit. This is heavy, Astrid.
But you're safe.
I can't move, Astrid.
I'm too tired to go any further, Astrid.
Please carry me, Astrid.
I would, but your foot is the size of my entire body.
He can definitely still go, but you will probably want to be riding on Raphael for most of this trip.
Okay, until we get the beak somewhere it can be used.
Yeah.
The feathers on this thing have got to be gargantuan.
Yeah, there's definitely some tiny, like,
Down.
as down as you can get. Like, these down feathers are still, like, 2 feet long, but the big feathers are, like, person-sized. They're massive.
I'm envisioning like a cloak made out of
Yeah.
feathers that are
Rock feather cloak.
Yes.
How sick would that be?
That's literally a Zelda item.
And also the wyvern skin.
The wyvern skin's good.
Yes.
Poison gland, probably.
Yeah. So, okay.
So we're just like dismembering these creatures.
Oh yeah, you are
I mean,
harvesting
Mara's a hunter.
hardcore.
Yeah.
So, rock bits,
Astrid's
wyvern
a little squeamish, but she's no stranger to taking creatures apart for their components.
bits. Yeah, so...
Well, Lauren is used to helping in random encounters in the wild and always takes the opportunity to gather materials that may be useful for either spells or just selling when she goes to town so that they can buy items.
I don't know that much about spells, so this might not mean a lot coming from me, but that was some impressive casting there.
Thank you. That was some impressive fighting, both of you.
I'm amazed those arrows hit. I don't normally use the bow.
You're getting really good.
Thank you.
You could have fooled me.
Maybe I just borrowed some of your luck.
I am actually lucky.
Okay. Wyvern skin, poison glands. I'll bet their horns are pretty tough. Anything else you're taking from this?
Its scorpion tail might make a cool club
Yeah.
for someone with a positive strength score.
I think that could be fashioned into a cool scimitar.
And even if none of us wants to use it, we could sell it.
Yeah,
for
maybe
pretty
sell it.
penny.
I'm sure people at Arvyx would be into this.
Yeah, wyverns are born and bred in Arvyx.
Oh.
I'll spill some history on you. Yeah, most of the wyverns in Broadfurrow were stolen in monster raids. The serpentine ones like this one are Tenebrae native, but the ones that look more Drake-like are from the Arvyx Mountains.
So this one's definitely not native to Auredane.
This serpentine creature is not Auredanian.
Weird poison cobra thing.
Does Cobra Hood have any cool patterning on it?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, but I don't know what a cool cobra pattern would be. I'll get back to you on that one.
I mean, it's not like a solid color. It's got like a...
Yeah, I imagine it's kind of like, you can see it, it's like a bullseye radiating out on each side, like a dot and then a ring and then a ring and then a ring until the rings kind of meld into each other at the seam. Yeah. Okay. So you have gathered up the monster bits. It is nearing the end of mid-morning.
Let's ride to that copse of trees and rest.
Yep, about 5 miles away is a little grove of baobab trees. You set down to camp for the day, or for the afternoon. And I had another encounter planned today, but I think that's a great place to call it for today.
All right.
Great game, all of you.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for sticking with us. We're going to head out now. Peace.